Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for watching and listening to the Juicebox Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK, and this week I'm going to have to eat a little bit of crow based off the series that happened over the past weekend,
Mhm.
which I'm good. I'm good with that. But as always, I'm joined with my guy Moreno. Uh, we all know and love him. He is our Dubon leader of the fan club. So, what's going on, man?
Dude, I'm feeling fantastic, man. What did I call for? I called for a 5-1 or a 4-1 home stretch, and we ended up going 5-0, 7 game win streak. We went from a week, what was it, a week ago, week and a half ago? We were down 10 games behind Seattle. Now we're at 4.5. And also the icing on top. Now, granted, we still have some work to do, but the icing on top is that who is in our rearview mirror other than the South Oklahoma Rangers. So
That's right.
I'm doing fantastic.
And they lost tonight, or yesterday. Lost
Yeah,
yesterday.
yep. So Orioles, there's nothing better than to get their season back on track than playing the Rangers. So
No, it
yeah,
was
man.
great. Look, I'm really happy that I have to eat the crow on it. I mean, we were texting over the weekend, and I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, that was the team that we expected to see all season. I mean, really, from an
Yeah,
offensive perspective, from pitch. I mean, the whole thing. And you go and you deal Baltimore. I think it was like their first sweep against they've had, and I forget what the
I
year
think it was,
was. It was it's been a minute though, right?
yeah, it was something like their first sweep in like over 100 and something series. Like I think they
Yeah,
hadn't been swept since like I think it was like late 2021
yeah,
was the
yeah,
last time they've been swept. And I mean, to be fair, I mean you had every reason to be pretty
yeah.
cautious with that series. I mean, I'm pretty sure because like I'll admit, I didn't get to watch the first portion of the game on Friday.
Right.
Uh, Family and I we did like a little pool party down at the Hometown Heroes off of 96. So and then I just happened to turn the game on, and man, you want to talk about having fantastic timing. I turned on that game on Friday, right as that foul ball was hit, that Loperfido did the sliding catch.
Yeah,
And the first thing that hit me when after he made that catch is just like, Jesus, if there was any reason to ever doubt that this kid should be in the lineup. I mean, because it was like the second he made that catch, you could feel the energy in that place completely change.
yeah,
And then, like, also too, yeah, it makes me go back and think if we didn't waste that month trying to fit Abreu into this lineup, it's just, where would we be?
yeah,
Because, I mean, let's be honest, those 14 games that Abreu was out of the lineup, I mean, we went 10-4.
yeah.
And then, I mean, I don't have the numbers pulled up of what we've done since Abreu, but I think he was cut, right before the Tiger series?
Yeah, I believe
I
so.
think it was maybe the series before that. I mean, but I mean, you're looking at what 9-1, 9-2
Yeah.
since he's been gone. I mean, so yeah, man, it's just that sweep of Baltimore. I think was a shock to a lot of people. I would even say even Astros fans as well.
I think if you really probably polled most Astro fans and they took their homer hat off, they would probably do the same thing, right? Because
Yeah,
you have to look at what the Astros were doing coming into that series based against what Baltimore have been doing all season long, which is putting up runs. And look at Gunnar Henderson. I mean, mashing
no,
like
yeah,
25 home runs, just 26 home runs from the lead opposition. So you have to look at what the Astros were doing coming in and what Baltimore was doing coming in. And like, it's really easy to be like, we can't play consistent enough ball to even get, you know, 2 wins out of this thing. So that's why I went with 0-3. And I am so glad that I was wrong. So
yeah,
glad because, like, thankfully we had Colorado coming in after that. We took the 2 from Colorado. 5 games in a row at home, 7 overall, right? Pitching's been looking great. We're back to 500. We got the Mets this weekend. So, like, we're back in this mix. We're really back in this mix,
oh yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
And so it's taken a minute for us to get to 500, but we're here. And the AL West and everybody else, they fucked around. Letting us hang around because here we come. I'm telling you, here we come. And I know we've been bad news bears for a lot of the season,
We
right?
have, yeah,
And and really you can't fault us Bird, for being that
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
because
Andrew.
you have to look at what the product's been on the field. It's been up and down all year, right? So most of the time it's been crap ball. You can't put a whole, you can't put all three phases together. But here recently, we're starting to do that, and on top of that, we're getting the help from other teams by losing, which puts us right back in there. I mean, we're clear of Texas by I think 2 or 3 games now,
3 games now. 3 games.
right?
Well, it was three yesterday morning, and they lost last night, so now it's 3.5.
Right.
So, I mean, but yeah, yeah. I mean, because like Andrew, he was like, I better not hear anything bad news
Yeah.
bears, and it's just like like you said, you have to take off the homer hat, and it's very frustrating because you look at this lineup that features the guys that we have in this lineup, and for that lineup to be so inconsistent, leading for the majority of the season so far,
Yeah.
so like you're looking at it and you're frustrated because these guys are capable of so much better baseball than what they're putting out. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing what can happen. The starting pitching has been like it just is ridiculous, and on top of that, I believe, uh, for the most part, leading into this last 2 series, you were saying last week we were going on a 4-man rotation.
Yeah.
So for the fact, I mean, it's nice to see the offense pick it up and like really out. I mean, I mean, like I know Friday night's game got a little scary towards the end,
Yeah.
but I mean, for the most part, the offense showed up. I mean, Arrighetti pitched a hell of a game on, I believe it was
It's
he pitched
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, I
I have his
mean,
numbers. Do you want his numbers?
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
7 innings, three
I
hits,
like it.
10 Ks.
Dude, that's fantastic. I
Yeah.
mean, like, and coming from a guy like Arrighetti, who, regardless of, if you're going to say, well, if we had more depth, he should have just got called up a couple weeks ago. I mean, the kid has battled. He's battled all season. His first 3 starts were against like the top, looking at last year's the top like 5 or 6 offenses.
Right.
And he took his lumps. Like, it looked like right when, me personally, I was ready to move him to the bullpen after that one start. He got shellacked. And I think it was Minnesota or Detroit. Detroit
Yeah.
shellacked him. And then he comes back and just pitches this gem. And it's just like, okay, all right, Spencer. Apparently, I continue to prove why I am not in the Astros front office.
And I think that
So,
the
and
good
then,
thing for Spencer was the fact, I mean, yeah, the 3 hits and 10 Ks. I mean, that's great, right? But I think if you look a little bit deeper into his start, it's the fact that the fifth inning has been his bugaboo. Like
yeah,
it's always his problem. Whether because he can cruise up until the fifth, and then if something happens, like a 2-out walk or some shit, and then the brakes fall off. But he got 7 innings. I mean, he looked like, and hopefully he can keep that rolling to his next start where he's like, okay, I know I got over the hump of getting past the fifth inning. I know my stuff is good. It's Colorado, but it doesn't matter, right? They're still major league hitters. So hopefully he can keep that going. Look, the other pitcher, we can get into it later. We can get into it now. Hunter freaking Brown.
dude, yeah,
Like,
yeah. I
I
mean,
have his stats for his last 7 starts. We'll talk about it, but
yeah,
I'll give you those. The dude,
he's dealing. I mean, like
he
he's
was
he,
consistently pumping 97, 98, 99 on, when was that? Was that Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday.
yeah.
I just
And
deal.
yeah, I mean, like it seems like something, from what like I heard Blumber talk about it, and I kind of did some research on it too. Uh, it looks like he added a sinker to his repertoire of pitches, and it's like the second he added that sinker, it's
It's
like,
over.
good God, has this guy went from like a month ago we were calling for this guy to get sent down to AAA
Yeah,
to his last 7 starts. I know you're going to give us the stats. I mean, but like his last 7 starts, I would put him against any pitcher in this league
yeah,
right now that is dealing. If it was as of right now, and you know any pitcher right now, one game to win the series or one game to do whatever, you put your best guy. And if I had to choose right now, I don't know if I would go Blanco. I think I'd give the ball to Hunter Brown
yeah.
and let him do Hunter Brown things because Hunter Brown things right now are fantastic.
And the thing was about Hunter Brown's start was like if you looked at just the ERAs for the two starting pitchers for that Wednesday game, they were both six up, right? 6+6, like they were high ERA starting pitchers. So you were expecting kind of, if you just looked at it from a numbers perspective, this is going to be a high scoring game. Well, it ended up not really being that high scoring. So you needed Hunter Brown to go and do what he did on Wednesday. I'll go ahead and give
Yeah.
you the stats. It's actually insane how good he's been. Okay, so this is over the last 7 starts. So he's
Okay.
4-1, 1.47 ERA, 48 Ks and 43 innings. So basically a K per inning, right?
Yeah.
His batting average against is 178, and his on base percentage in the last 7 starts is 242. Like,
Yeah. I think I also read somewhere that in that same stretch, his whip, which we're not going to get too crazy into these stats, but it's essentially your walks and hits per inning was like point. It was like
point
what was
eight,
it like? This,
point eight
yeah,
something.
0.88. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was definitely under one, and it's just like, man, that's like MLB the Show
that's like
video
elite
games
on rookie.
numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's like your guys maxed out at like 90, 99, and you
yeah,
have it on rookie just to be an asshole,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic,
No, it's
fantastic.
been so good to see him like come around because he started off the season like shit. We expected big things from him at the beginning. Way rocky. We all know how it went. We all seen his outings at the beginning. We saw what happened when he came out of the bullpen in Detroit when we were getting the brakes beat off of us on a Saturday game. He those like I think 5 scoreless innings, and really from that point he started putting some things together,
Yeah,
and now here we're at, right. So it's been good to see him come through. Ronell's still doing his thing. I think he did he leave with he got no decision, I think, right, for the Baltimore series.
no, I think he got the win.
Did he get the dub? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because the only game that was somewhat close after the sixth inning was that Friday night game, and that implosion of well, like I said, I'm trying not to focus. I mean, we're we're on a 7 game win streak, 5-0 since the last time we got to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, so like I'm trying not to focus on anything negative, but it was just like after that Friday night game, I was like, if I never see Nick Hernandez in this bullpen, I will be happy. And you know what happened the
Yeah.
next day? He got DFA'd. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right, thanks Astros, I appreciate it.
Well, we can talk about Jake Bloss. I know it's
Yeah,
Bloss.
Jake Walks. Yeah,
Look, and like I texted you on Friday because he looks like the guy. It looks like he showed up to the ballpark late, because like it felt like his jersey was untucked in the back, his hat was to this like not straight. So
yeah,
when I see people wear hats like Scotty Scheffler, the golfer, his hat is never straight on his head, and I'm like, you have to feel that your hat's not straight. Like, you should be able to see that like it's turned
yeah.
like this.
Something's off. Yeah,
Like you should be able to see that. And that's how I felt with Jake Bloss. But like, I think he did pretty good given his first start. Who he
yeah,
was facing. It's really unfortunate for the kid that he got hurt already. You know, um, I
but
think
yeah, I
overall
mean,
it's better than Blair Henley's first outing, so it's a win, right?
yeah, I mean, but everything that I saw from him was definitely good things. I mean, the
Yeah,
contact that the Orioles did make was a lot of soft contact. I mean, he's for him making that jump, and I know we talked about this last week about how rare it is to go from Double A to the Baltimore Orioles, right? He looked very poised. He looked very confident. He attacked the hitters, and like I said, the good news is it looks like it's just a 15-day DL piece, so there was nothing crazy. Unlike JP France, RIP for the season. We'll get into that, but there was nothing. Like I said, I had the same feeling with him that I had with Loperfido, where he didn't look like he was overmatched. He just
yeah,
looked like he's facing a very good lineup, and it's not like he got shellacked for those 2 runs. There was a lot of soft contact, like I said.
yeah.
He didn't look overmatched from what I saw.
What's crazy is I texted you on Friday, or I think it was Friday, and you talked about this a minute ago with Loperfido's catch, in foul territory to start the game. It's crazy how one player's like presence in the lineup on the field, and then he goes and makes a play. Like
Yeah,
how much excitement it brings to the people like me watching at home, right? Because I'm like, that's why this mofo needs to be in here, man. It's not because like he's over there mashing 450-foot bombs, but like he's all over the place making plays, like giving everything he's got. And I'm not saying the rest of the guys don't, but it's this young kid that has like he's playing for everything, right? He's
yeah,
playing for everything, and it's infectious, and everybody can feed off of it. And you've got a double A starter on the mound, so everyone else is trying to step their game up to like kind of have this kid's back. And so it was actually fun to watch that offensive output. Now, of course, it got scary at the end. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me here, guys. Like,
Yeah.
feel free to get some outs, or not put up, let them score. But it was cool to see. It reminded me of like when Hunter Pence came up back in the day, where he was just like wide eyed, just like always like hustling on every play, all over the place. Like that's how I felt with Loberfito. Like this kid needed to be up the whole time and needs to be playing the whole damn time,
You
right?
said Hunter Pence? Is that
Yeah,
who you said?
yeah.
Okay.
Remember, like
Yeah, I
remember when
mean,
he first came up, he had his like eyes all big, and I mean he don't know any better except just to play hard.
yeah. No, I mean, like you absolutely hit the nail on the head, dude. Like when first of all, I was watching that while I was walking back. Uh, it's hard to describe it, but I was at one of the ends of the pool. Like I literally almost walked back into the pool because I was watching it. But when I saw that, like like I said, same thing. It's just like, man, like you felt like a complete different excitement by and then like it made me think, like, man, how many players, if they were veterans, or not, how many players would have laid out to make that play?
Uh huh.
It was close to the wall. I mean, anything could have happened. You could have dove head first, missed it, smashed your shoulder into the wall. And I'm not saying that these veterans would have been like, yeah, I'm not risking my season for that. But like I said, the difference is like I felt that surge of excitement, that energy, that electricity. It reminded me, for me, it was reminding me when they called up Correa. Because this was the number one prospect in all of baseball. He just came off that year where, like, I think he broke his leg the year before, sliding into third base. And Astros fans kind of knew that, we had already had Springer up. We had Altuve establishing himself. Once we brought up Correa, that was going to be the turning point.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying Loberfito is going to be
Correa.
what Correa was, but that's kind of the excitement I got. Like once they, like you felt like, kind of like earlier in the season when we all got the Luperfido to make his major league debut, and it really changed the atmosphere of not just the fans, but it felt like it changed the team atmosphere as well.
Yeah,
So so Loperfido, fantastic. I mean, like seeing him up there, like I said, it kind of shot me back to when they called up Correa. Um, but I think the one picture in my mind that really made me feel good from I guess kind of being a softie now was, I will say this. I really liked the way after Arrighetti pitched the seventh inning, seeing Espada go up there and like just have that moment with him. I know he gave him a hug. He probably told him, "Hey man, dude, this is the stuff that you can do if you can just, I don't know what he did." But me seeing that, I felt like I was Arrighetti's dad. Just like they're like, "Oh man, yeah," that really pumped me up. I don't know why, but it just did. Like it was great to see Arrighetti battle through because, like you said it before, the kid has struggled in the fifth inning. Like he could
yeah,
not get out of the fifth inning, and not only did he get out of the fifth inning, he got out of the sixth inning, and he made it through the seventh inning.
yeah,
Because I remember watching that game. I looked at the pitch count. I was like, man, he's in the fifth. He's in the sixth. He's only got 61 pitches.
yeah,
Like, okay. But I think a lot of it was like he was able to utilize he got a lot of, he didn't give up a lot of like these, like I did. There was times like in that Atlanta game earlier in the season where just a lot of bloop hits didn't go his way.
uh huh.
And yeah, I would, when you're young like that, you don't have the poise to be like, man, whatever, it's a bloop hit, stuff happens.
I made my pitch. They hit. Yeah,
When you're, like I said, I'm assuming if you're Arrighetti, you're pitching, like you're making an audition to
yeah.
be in the rotation the next turnaround. So to see him have that moment with Espada, like I was almost kind of felt like Arrighetti's dad, even though I've never met him. So
Well, you
that's
could
enough.
be. You're old enough.
I am old enough. I could be, but
No, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to
yeah,
see because like I think that was a big deal for Arrighetti. Like
yeah,
to get out of the fifth inning. I mean, I think this is the most strikeouts he had because he's really not a strikeout pitcher. Like he's not.
yeah.
He's really
And
not.
honestly, I will give Andrew a shout out because he did come up to my office that next day. He said, "Yeah, he's the only Astro to, have 10 strikeouts this season." And I'm like, "Dude, no, he's not." I was like, "Blanco had a no hitter. He's probably like the third." And come to find out, Andrew, you were right. He is the only Astro starter this year to record 10 strikeouts in a
Huh.
game. So there you go.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
There's
So
my one thing that I knew that I've learned today.
there you go. So there you go. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew,
But
for that.
that's the last time you'll ever hear me say I was wrong.
Yeah, or that he was right.
Or that he was right. I don't even care if I was wrong and he
That's
was right.
right. That's right. You'll never live it down ever.
Like we'll have to fact check that next time.
Yeah,
So
fake news,
yeah.
like one person would say.
Oh boy, here we go.
I know that was good though. That was good. But yeah, no, we so the Mets coming in town this weekend. So have you
This is
seen
gonna be a good matchup.
you've seen their record since that purple grimace thing is
Yeah.
thrown the pitch?
I think they're what now 11-2 since
11-2.
Grimace. Yeah.
Now, first of
So
all, I don't even know what grimace is. I have no idea.
he's a character. How do you not know? He's a character from McDonald's. Like back in the day, like when they had characters and they still had like like back in the day.
No, I remember like the Hamburglar. I know that guy.
Well, yeah, there's Grimace. Yeah,
Didn't know there was a purple.
he's an old school character from like back in the day when they used to have like the real like playgrounds. They had like everything was made out of metal. You would
Yeah,
go in there
outside. Yeah,
and it'd be like 95 degrees. You touch
yeah,
the metal, like half first 3 layers of your skin would
yeah,
burn off.
yeah.
You know, yeah, he's an old school character.
Didn't know.
I mean, I don't know what the Grimace has to do with the Mets, but whatever.
Well, whatever. It's their thing now. It's like how the monkey was the Angels a few years ago. Like,
Yeah, well, that didn't
yeah,
work.
yeah. So yeah, the Mets are 11-2 now. Over here recently, I think they beat up on the Yankees over the weekend.
Yeah.
I think. So it should be a good series, man. Should be a good series.
Yeah, it looks like that could be a growing trend. You beat up on the Yankees, then you get swept by the Astros.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm down.
I'm here
I mean,
for it.
definitely. I mean, like we did watch. We watched a little bit of the Sunday night game between them and I think it was the Cubs or it was the Braves. I don't know, but I just remember seeing.
No, they
Mark
played.
Bianco.
They played New York. It was New York. That was
No,
Sunday night.
talking about Sunday,
That
like
was
4 days ago, 5 days ago, however many days ago. I don't know who they were playing. All I know is that this Vientos kid hit like a 470-foot bomb straight to center field.
Look, so he matches on MLB The Show. I'm just telling you. So he must
yeah.
match in real life.
And I will tell you this: one person that Gunnar Henderson absolutely impressed was Benjamin, because now he just calls him the Beast. I'm like, that's fair.
He is.
I swear every time he looked up at that screen and Gunnar Henderson was hitting, he hit a home run. So he's like, Dad, that guy's a beast. I'm like, yeah, I know.
So it's your son's fault.
Yeah, but hey, they still swept him. Doesn't matter.
I still honestly like. It's not that I'm not 100% shocked, but like I kind of am about the way we went about it.
Oh yeah,
Because I had zero expectations of that week over the weekend.
Yeah,
and they like foot down on their throat.
Yeah,
like let them have a little bit of hope on Friday. Thank God we got out there, but like the rest of the time, it was domination.
No, even Friday. Friday was like garbage time touchdowns. That's all that was.
Yeah, it was, but it got too close.
Yeah, it did get a little too close.
Way too close, man.
Oh my God, if they blow this, and
it was like what 14-3.
It was 14-4.
14-4, yeah.
Yeah, and then when the butthole clenching time, it was 14-11, and I was like, oh my God, get this guy out.
Yes.
And then they brought in Montero. I'm like, do not bring. Okay, no, I'll take this guy out too.
Yeah,
Montero. I will say, if there's one negative on this entire glorious, super positive episode, Montero. Fuck that guy.
I know.
He started off so well, and I have to tell David this every time because he's a Montero advocate. I'm like, look at his last 17 games. His ERA is almost 8. Like, he has risen back to his terribleness that he was last year.
Well, to his pre-contract.
No, his pre-contract, he was a stud in 2022.
No, you're right. Post-contract.
Then he got the contract, and his ERA was almost 6 last year.
We also had another debut from the bullpen on Friday, Contreras.
Oh, yeah, we had a couple of them. Him, Contreras, and King.
Yeah, he's actually pitched a few games. I actually watched him Wednesday. King came in to pitch at the end of Wednesday's game. He didn't look too bad.
No. I mean, I think King pitched twice, and then I think Contreras pitched once. 3 scoreless innings. Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah.
3 scoreless innings, and I think 1 hit, and like 3 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts, whatever. I don't care. Put up zeros. I don't care.
Yes, that's all you got to do. It's
Yeah.
like the thing that I think bothers me a lot with these relief pitchers is they nibble, right? They come in, they start nibbling on the corners. And then they get down 2-0, 3-0, and then they put a fastball right where they want to. And I'm like, feel free to throw strikes like
Yeah.
the first 3 pitches before that. Like, stop getting into 6, 7, 8 pitch at bats with these guys. Like, your job is to come and throw strikes, not put guys on base, right? Like, throw strikes. And I like it's easier said than done because I'm sitting on the sofa, watching and critiquing. But like, they're at the throwing these sweepers. Like Seth Martinez was throwing all these sweepers, and it's like it's not on today, homie. Like just
Yeah.
like throw a strike, throw a damn
Just
strike.
throw it two-seamer, throw it low,
Yeah,
get the ground ball,
get the ground
go
ball
back
on to
to
the
the
next one,
dugout.
man. Like let's not.
Super simple.
No traffic, no traffic.
Yeah.
It's like that
I
game.
like
No
it.
whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Like just no
Yeah.
traffic.
That's it. Or if you get a guy on first, that's when you bury the two-seamer down and in. You set up for the double play.
Yeah, facts.
So
last week we talked about doing our circle of trust.
the circle of trust. I mean, I think I got a feeling the circle's about to get super wide after the week that we've had.
Well, you would think that. For
Okay.
me, let me just tell you the circle of trust that I had for the month of May. Okay.
Okay.
So I had Tucker, Ronell, Hader was almost. He was one foot in guy. Pena, Jordan, and Altuve. So the way I went about it in June, although I still do trust Tucker, he's not playing. So
That's fair. I was gonna say I would say the same. I would have
Right.
Tucker, but he hasn't played. So
he hasn't played. With Jordan and Altuve, I do trust those guys,
absolutely.
but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't. Like Altuve, I don't. It's just I trust them. I do trust those guys. They're not in my circle of trust for this month,
Mm,
but I trust them.
okay. That bar must be pretty high.
It's just I think what I did is I'm going off of like consistent outings, consistent production, right? And I'm not
Okay.
saying Altuve is not consistent. Jordan does Jordan shit, right? Like we know that, but I tried
Yeah.
to. I kind of what I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to see if I could make a list that was not so much easier or not so much easy, but like who outside of the consistents like do we trust? You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So all right. So maybe we should rename this the circle of trust for wave 2.
Yeah, wave 2. There goes my pen.
Oh, there we go. See, see, that's what we were talking about last week.
I know.
If you're looking for a professional podcast,
You ain't gonna find it
this is
here.
not it.
You ain't gonna find it here.
At all. If you're looking for two schmucks having a normal conversation that eventually is going to drop a pen, karate chop their microphone,
Have the headphones die.
have your headphones die,
Slow internet.
have your 7-year-old pop up and make a cameo, run your internet off of AOL. This is the place to go.
You found the right spot. We are
Yeah, if you're not looking for perfection, here's the home for you.
This right here are the faces of imperfection. So anyway, so in our real circle of trust, on our normal one, it would be Tucker, Altuve, Jordan.
Okay.
I think it's always going to be that. I think, right? Like those three are going to be there all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So I only put 4 down.
Okay.
Right now. So 3 pitchers this time.
Okay.
So Ronell, of course, because Ronell's been that guy all season. Right.
Yeah.
Hunter Brown
Yeah.
has made his entry into the circle of trust. I put Hader in there. Hader's made his way in.
Yeah. Even though he gave up that home run?
Yes. Because who pitched before him?
Presley.
Yeah. So, like, Presley, I think I'm going to blame it on
Presley had a clean inning.
Well, like, there's so many non-clean innings for Presley that, like, his one doesn't really do me any good.
All right. So, basically, Hader gets a pass because of Presley.
Because he gets paid $95 million, yes.
Okay. All right.
This was one month.
Okay. So don't mess this up, Hader.
Yeah. And I put Dubon in there. And I knew you were gonna do that, and I kind of did that just so you make that face. I'm telling you, dude, like this kid, like I like this kid, man. Like he's good. He's good. He's getting to play more, man.
Whatever. I
No, don't
guess.
whatever. I know it's in your list. You're
I
just not
guess.
going to say it.
I guess. Okay. Was that those are your
So
guys?
those are my four outside of Tucker, Jordan, and Altuve. So
Okay. So
there's really seven.
okay. So outside of the what I call the varsity team.
Yeah,
So outside of the guys throwing the Circle of Trust keg party, I think I would absolutely invite Blanco. I mean, he's at this point. I think he's part of the sorority or he's part of the fraternity already.
he's like one of the OGs at this point almost.
Yeah, he's passed all the initiations. He's in the fraternity now. So I think Blanco is should already be included.
Yeah,
So my guys, I absolutely Hunter Brown. I think Hunter Brown is invited to the toga, cake party.
yeah.
I'm even saying Abreu. Abreu's been pretty nails lately. Like I said, he came into this month with like an ERA almost 5. Now it's down to like what 2.4 something. So he's been pretty reliable. Offensively, oh man, offense is a little bit harder.
It is.
I'm going to say Lil Profito, mainly because he's brought that electricity back to the city and to the team, and for that, you get a cake stand.
Yeah,
So, um, I mean, the rest of the guys, I mean, they're just too up and down. I
yeah.
mean, it looks like Myers is finally his bat is kind of come back around, but how long is it going to be back around? McCormick had a couple of decent games, but how long is that going to last? Uh, Singleton looks just man Singleton.
He's taking a step back, dude. And I hate it for him.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
can't with
sucks.
Singleton.
I know.
Even though he rocks the headband, I can't with Singleton. And I mean, that probably be about it. I
I
mean,
mean, Pena had a good series against Colorado, and then he had a decent one against the Orioles. I mean, but he was hitting 147 like prior to these last like 5 games.
yeah, I mean, the only other guy I would say is being recruited can come for like a campus visit, be maybe Caesar Salazar. He had a pretty good series,
I kind of like
but
that
he's
kid.
not. Uh, but I don't think he's ready to be at the party yet. He's just visiting the campus. That's all he's
He's
doing.
a friend of an enrollee. You know.
Yeah, there you go. He's the guy that the enrollee is really trying to sell, but they're just like, let's see what else more he can do to see if he can get one of those golden tickets.
Yeah, because like I had a buddy that went to U of H. He listens. His name's Mikhail, and he was in a fraternity. And like me and him were good buds. I mean, good guys. And like so, I would just accompany him to all of his fraternity parties. It didn't even enroll there. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, where's the party at? I was at the frat house. Okay, I'll be there. So
He's
that's
like,
how
hey man,
small.
what classes are you taking? Oh, just so you just
Uh,
make up some shit off the top of your head.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I took that one last semester. Yeah. But yeah, that's what Caesar says. Salazar is. He's like the friend of a friend.
I like that. I'm good with that. I
Yeah.
mean, so yeah, I mean so those are my guys that this is their second. I mean, they can come to the party. They're just not. It's not their house yet. They're not
Yeah.
part of the fraternity yet.
They're rushes.
That's
They're rushes.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're guys that they're about to start the initiation to get them in.
Yeah.
Blanco's the only one that has passed initiation, and he's in.
Yeah. No, for sure. I like it, and I want to. I'd like for us to have more pitching. I mean, I like Taylor Scott. I think Taylor Scott's been overall has been pretty freaking good all season. I don't really think. I don't know if he gets used like properly enough. Like I would feel better for him as like sixth inning guy only, right? And to make that bridge if he has to Abreu.
Well, I can see that. I mean, I just think it's a lot of like. I mean, he's another guy. Really, I don't think he's given a lot of the respect,
Yeah,
that he's earned. I mean, because like a lot of the times it's like, they bring in Montero, and Montero gets lit up, so they need somebody to stop the bleeding. Who did they go to? Either Martinez or they go to um,
Taylor.
Taylor Scott, right? So, I mean, but really, honestly, I think Taylor Scott has elevated himself above Seth Martinez.
Oh yeah,
I mean, so really, honestly, he's kind of like that unsung hero, kind of like how Ryan Stanek was in 2022,
yeah,
where it's like everybody was all about Presley and Abreu, but it's like you overlooked how fantastic of a season Ryan Stanek had in 2022.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, Scott is definitely maybe potentially visiting for potentially someone's gonna you know pledge him in. We'll
Yeah,
see.
no. We sent a recruiting letter to his house, so
Yeah,
he should be getting it.
yeah. So if he continues, I think he can come do a visit, maybe a party visit,
Yeah, yeah,
and not
for sure.
just tour the campus.
Yeah,
So
we'll actually bring him back to the house.
yeah, I like it. I'm down
So,
with that.
in other news, our friend Bryles um, told us about some scouts being up in the
Ugh.
New England area here
Yeah,
recently, watching the Red Sox and the Blue Jays,
yep.
possibly for the one they call Vlad Jr.
Oh, Vladovich.
And there's some rumblings out there that that's one of the Astros' main priority or top priority to bring him in, which I would be down for.
Well,
However, I'm more curious. I would be pumped to have him in for obvious reasons, right? He mashes and he has a porch in left field where he could hit, balls out of the stadium, and that's great. I
yeah,
think I'm more curious to know what the price tag is and what prospects, right?
yeah.
We would be giving up for this guy, and because I think he has one more year left on his deal. I
Hmm.
think we would have him the rest of 24 and all 25, right?
Yes.
Okay, which is good. I mean, and we talked about this before. I'm not one for rentals because you burn through your farm system for a guy for 2 months. Cool. I mean, yes, you might get a ring, and that's great. That's what they all strive for. But if you can't re-sign them, you've bought a championship, but you've lost future talent, right? So if they do go and get Vlad, at least we would have the guy for a year and a half, season and a half. I would just be curious to know what the price tag is going to be. What do you think? Have you seen anything price tag wise? Is this even a thing, or is it just talk?
Well, here's the thing. So there are two portions of the season that I would probably say outside of the season are my favorite times of the season. One of them is we're about to enter trade deadline season.
Oh yeah,
Where now all of the wins of all these rumors, and a lot of it is just some guy trying to get people to click his article, right? And then, of course, the winter meetings, which a lot of the times these last 2 years, nothing's really happened. So I have read a couple of things where they've said that Vlad is going to be their number one target to solve first base. I absolutely 110% agree with your analysis. On a surface value, absolutely. Absolutely. Can you imagine that lineup?
oh dude,
You have Altuve, and what do they got? Who do they have batting second?
Tucker,
It's not, it's, who?
Tucker.
Tucker's hurt.
Well, okay,
Okay. Tucker's back by then. So you have Altuve, Tucker,
Jordan.
Bregman, Jordan, and then you slide Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in
Yeah,
there.
Pena, Loperfido,
And then Pena, Loberfido, and
Myers.
then Myers. Yeah.
Oh,
That
Diaz.
is,
We forgot about Diaz.
oh, Diaz. Dude, that lineup is nasty.
Yeah,
However, I would think that for a package like that would cost you about, now I'm not going to say Vladimir's on the same level as Kyle Tucker because he's not,
no,
but it's going to be a little expensive. I mean, you're probably looking at, my biggest fear would be that it's going to probably cost you Jacob Melton. He's going to be gone. It's probably going to cost you maybe Bryce Matthews and
man.
maybe a lower pitcher, right? So, and like I said, I actually wrote down a couple of trades that I've read that I actually find very interesting.
What you got?
So, my main concern is that you run the risk if you make this trade. And again, nobody's going to care if they ball out and win the World Series this year.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to care. That's a 2025 problem, right? I get it. But in 2025, you run the potential of losing Vlad Guerrero and Kyle Tucker. I mean, the census around the MLB and all the people that get paid way more money than we get paid, which is zero, to analyze this kind of stuff, is already pretty much expecting Bregman to not be on the Astros next year.
I think that's fair.
So, so you run the risk of losing all three of those guys. You know, I'm not whatever. I'm not even really worried about Bregman.
Right.
But you run the risk of losing Tucker and Vlad Guerrero, and your Tucker replacement, right, is more than likely going to be Jacob Melton if he continues to progress with the minors like he has. Then you still have a massive hole at first base, right? So that's the only thing that kind of worries me, because then I slowly start to see this team transition into the late 2000 Astros.
Uh-huh.
You know, where now Jordan will be 27, 28. Altuve is going to be 34. You know, Tucker will be gone. Vlad will be gone. Pena is going to be 28, 29, right? You're going to have these handful of guys, and then your farm system is just going to be
It's gonna be ass.
But I will say, though, I mean, what the Astros are able to do with these guys that are not top 100 prospects is that system is pretty impressive. I mean, Hunter Brown was maybe at the highest, 70 something, maybe 50, maybe. And look what he's done. You know, short sample size, but look what he's done.
Right.
But in me marking out, oh yeah, bring him all day. Make that
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah, facts.
You put. I mean, if this window still has a little bit of it still open, you try to push that bitch all the way open
Oh yeah.
and go for it.
Reset the
Right?
window. Reset the window.
Yeah. I mean, first base. I feel like you've already got an option for first base. You know, and that option is
Dubon. Say it.
Dubon.
Yeah,
You can
that's
put
right.
Dubon at first base, or you can have him platoon with Loperfido
Yeah.
and slowly get him used to that. And then next season, you put Loperfido at first base. He's your everyday first baseman. I think they should go pitching. Either another starter, which they're going to need, because you're going to have guys like Arrighetti and Blanco towards probably August. You're going to start seeing them pitch a little bit less, you know, to save their arms. You do have Verlander coming back, maybe sometime. But again, Verlander, I'm okay with. I don't need Verlander right now. You know,
Yeah.
if we're in the mix, I need him in September and October.
Yeah.
So as of right now, if we don't have to rush him back, because we saw how that worked out with JP France, I'd rather not rush him back and get him at the end of July. I'm cool with that. Plus, you still have the options of McCullers and Garcia coming back.
Yep.
So you can work those guys into. Well, now McCullers is going to be August-ish. He got the August-ish,
Ooh.
so he's not even coming back in July.
Last time we got that, the guy was done for the season. So
yeah, so I love it. I mean, you bring on Vladdy, bring him on. I don't care, but it's just I'm anxious to see what the price tag is.
It's gonna be steep,
and I just don't see us making that move without including Bryce Matthews. But again, if you want to look at it from both sides, where is Bryce Matthews going to play? Because he plays shortstop and he plays second base, and those two positions are on lockdown, unless they move him, unless they teach him how to play third base.
Good.
They could. I mean, but you got a kid in AAA right now.
Yeah, we got Will Edgar. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and he's not sucking. He's not sucking down there.
No, he's like, I think he just won last week the Astros minor league player of the week. I mean, so. But the trades I'm interested in, I do like the Vladdy trade. It's definitely interesting. It's just I don't know if we're going to have enough to get it done, especially if we're going up against Seattle, who needs offense ridiculously desperately. There's just so many other teams with better farm systems.
Yeah.
I mean, in a perfect world, you could work out a deal, right? Get Vladdy and bring back George Springer. You send them Jake Myers, send them a couple of good prospects. Maybe that works. I would not be opposed to bringing back Springer.
So, and look, and maybe Springer, and if he does, maybe Springer goes back to being a glimpse of what he used to be because he's playing like shit right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not playing good. So
But I mean, like, sometimes all it is a change of scenery. I mean, look at JV in 2017, right? His
yeah,
ERA was almost 5 at Detroit. Comes here, and his ERA is like under 2.
yeah.
So I mean, a lot of it is just a mindset. Just being on a winning team
Mm-hmm.
can do a lot for your confidence and stuff like that. But I got 2 trade offers
All right, let's go.
that I looked at that I thought was very interesting. So the first one is a guy that I'm very interested in bringing in because he should be pretty cheap, and that's Jack Flaherty from the Tigers. So the proposed trade was Jack Flaherty coming to the Astros for the Astros would send 2 AAA pitchers, AJ Bluebach and Rhett Koba. I say make that trade.
Sure, send it.
I mean, Bluebach's okay. I mean, he's still not our best AAA
Is
player
that his?
or pitcher.
Are you just making up his last name?
No, that's his name. It's Bluebach. Blubaugh.
Blue Ball, huh?
Yeah,
Blue Ball, huh?
yeah. I mean, you
Yeah,
still got Colton Gordon down there. He's pitching pretty well. I mean, whatever. So yeah, I'd make that trade
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Send
Like,
it.
yeah, sure, whatever.
What's do you know Flaherty's contract?
He signed a 1-year deal, so he's pretty much
A
with
rental?
the. I know you have a thing for a rental, but the rentals are going to be a lot cheaper. Who you're not trading is Bryce Matthews. You're not trading Jacob Melton. You're not trading any of those top guys for a rental.
Yeah,
So I mean, unless it's like an all-star caliber level
yeah.
rental. So the other trade, this one jabs at my heart a little bit, and it might
Okay.
jab at yours too. This also includes the Tigers. This one is for, I don't see this happening, but this one's for Tyreek Skubal.
The pitcher,
He's, yeah, the, pretty much Cy Young contending pitcher right now for the Tigers.
the one that we wrote both times we faced.
I think so.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
a pretty good scuba.
no, I thought he shut us down last time.
I thought we hit him.
No, we hit Crochet.
Oh yeah, no, that's the White
Yeah,
Sox.
yeah.
Anyways, continue.
So this package is Jacob Melton because this guy has another 2.5 years
Okay,
of team control. So Jacob Melton, Bryce Matthews, Jose Fleury, pitching for the Hooks, and Colin Barber, another outfielder. This one's got a little bit more beef it's got a little bit more tip to the knife as far as our system.
the Bryce Matthews thing though, man. Like it's.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is where you have to take off your homer hat,
I
right?
know, and I always say that because I always call everybody homers, and they're not realistic.
Yes. Now, like, again, we could be in 4 years, we could be completely wrong. Like I was. I was all about 5 years ago trading Kyle Tucker. And look how dumb I look.
Yeah.
Okay. So it could easily go that way. But I mean, he's only the 70 something, like,
Bryce Matthews.
yeah. I mean, it's not like this is a 2016 Carlos Correa number 1 or number 2 prospect we're giving up, right? And unless you teach him how to play third base, where's he going to play?
Yeah, that's fair. He can take over
So,
second after all two.
like, he ain't taking up second, and he's not taking up shortstop. So, I mean, I'm just saying, it's not a terrible idea, but again, if you're doing this trade, there is no this trade in Vladdy.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. So, and I think honestly, you're going to need to start and pitching more than you need a first baseman. But
I mean, yeah,
Vlad Guerrero is the sexier name. So
it is.
if you can look at it outside of, well, I've heard of Vladimir Guerrero. I don't know who this Tyreek Skubal is, but if you really look at it, it's like the packages you're going to have Skubal for an extra year that you wouldn't have Vlad Guerrero. And we're talking like arbitration money. We're not talking like
free agent.
He signed. Yeah. So, because I would like to think that they're saving that Bregman money for Tucker. That's what I'd like to think.
They need to be.
I mean,
they should be.
Yeah. I mean, so those are the 2 trades that I've seen so far that actually has a package going each way. A lot of it is just, oh, if the Astros make this trade, it could turn their season around, and it's just an article about nothing.
And so
So
I like the way you broke it down as far as the Vlad trade and the Scooball because you're right. Vlad's the sexy pick. It's the
yeah,
sexy transaction, right? Like it's Vladimir Guerrero. Like we know what the dude can do.
yeah,
However, comma, like you like to say, this league is
yeah,
about pitching. And if you
yeah,
can't pitch, that means you have to out hit the other team every night. And you can't ride that train into the playoffs. You got to have
yeah,
pitching.
yeah.
So
I
that's a
mean,
great. I think initially, before you gave me the very last trade proposal, I'm all about Vlad, just like you are, right? But starting pitching is at a premium. And
yeah,
if you've got a top line starting pitcher, and he's a lefty too, isn't he?
yeah,
Right. So like you always need. I mean, JV's on his last year or two, like overall, right? I mean, really,
yeah.
you know, even though all these pitchers come back from Tommy John, like good or better, like you really don't know what you're getting with Luis Garcia when he comes back. You don't know what you're getting with Lance McCullers when he comes back, if he comes back. Urquidy can't ever stay healthy. Javier, like
I
you
mean,
don't.
Urquidy and Javier, they're not until next year.
I mean, no,
So,
I'm just saying in general, right? Like,
I mean, but even with Garcia, I mean, Garcia is not going to probably show glimpses of what he used to be until this time next year.
right. But
So,
what I'm saying though is like you still really don't even know how they're gonna produce when they come back. Like you really don't.
yeah,
Like most of the guys do produce, right? Or they come back
on a
same
very
or
small
yeah,
level, yes,
and so right now we're running on Rennell, 30-year-old rookie. We're running on Hunter Brown, we're running on Arrighetti, Jake
yeah.
Bloss, you know what I'm saying? So
Fromber,
Fromber, well, I always forget that guy because you never know. But like I like the pitching trade proposal, I would take that over the Vlad simply for the fact that starting pitching is at a premium, and you have to have good. You just
yeah.
have to.
I mean, and honestly, if you want to take it to a different level, a next level, if it was me, I think I would take the Flaherty deal over the Screwball deal because Flaherty's pitched in the playoffs. Screwball's never pitched in the playoffs. I mean, so
True.
and
True.
what you could do if you want to get super duper greedy is you could pull the Flaherty deal and make the Vlad deal.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to pull Screwball and Vladdy for, you're going to expend all your guns into one of those two.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless they decide to pull something and get Screwball and Flaherty, but then again, too, and like I said, with Flaherty, if he continues to pitch as well as he has, he's going to hit the free agent market. He's going to go get his payday. So him leaving, I mean, it sucks, but you're not going to feel the impact of it in your minor league system as you would Vlad in 2025,
Yeah.
right? He will leave. He will test free agency, and then you're pretty much sacrificed your Tucker replacement, um, your potential anybody replacement in Matthews, and then Colin Barber was high, then he dropped again, so he's trying to fish his way back in, and Fleury's just he's just another arm.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good arm. I mean, but he's not like top 100 prospect or anything. So if it was me and I had to choose, I would try to go for Flaherty. And if I was really evaluating the team, I mean, I just think you could platoon Loperfido and Dubon at first.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And then, that's what I would do. What I would do is I would platoon Dubon and Loperfido at first up until the deadline. And if everything looks good, why throw away the whatever assets you have on Vlad when you're getting good production out of the Dubon Loperfido combo?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, so
No, I like it. I like it.
I
I
mean,
mean,
like I said, man, we were getting close to that season. I mean, so I'm sure every week from here on to the trade deadline, we'll have a handful of new scenarios. We'll have it's just crazy. Last week we went from I think we should be sellers. Now it's like, now we're buyers. I'm a believer. Let's go ahead and let's let's polish off this team to make us real contenders. And it's crazy because it was 7 days.
But it's like, and it's like that. It goes that
Yeah.
quick, that quick. This team gets on a roll, and then it's just like, thank you, here we go, finally, man. Like let's keep it going, you know.
Yeah.
So we
It's like
got the Mets this weekend, right? Starting
and
tonight.
then we get the potential Vladimir tryout session because we'll have Toronto for 4.
Okay, so you went. What did you say we were going last week?
4-1.
You had them splitting in Colorado.
Did I? Man. So what did I say? 3-2.
So 3-2. You had them at 3-2. And
Okay.
I had them 2-3. And we were way off.
Yeah, it happens.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the Mets. Mets for 3. And we got the Blue Jays for 4. What you got?
All right, I'm going to say we take.
In the Mets series, what do you got? 2 out of 3?
Yeah, I see us taking that series 2-3. I think we just have too much. I mean, I know we got 2 teams with a lot of momentum clashing. I just think the Astros have the better team. I mean, so I'm gonna say 2-3. So we'll go 2-1 against the Mets.
Yeah, that's what I like. I did the same thing. And I don't really know what day I'm picking them to lose. I just think, I mean, the Mets are a good team. They've been playing good. You know, like it's going to be a good series. And so the Astros are going to have to play as good as they did against Baltimore, you know,
Yeah.
pitching, hitting, everything. So, all right, Blue Jays, 4 games.
Blue Jays. I mean, that team has just been a dumpster fire. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, pretty much since they had their big 3, their big Bichette, Vladimir, and Biggio, they have underperformed all expectations. I'm going to say we take 3 or 4 against Toronto. Again, I just think we're the better team. We have more guns. If the pitching holds up to the way it is and the offense continues to do what it does, I can see this being a 5-2 stretch.
Okay. It seems too easy to go 3-1. Let's see. Let me think here.
I think they found their mojo, man.
Just to be different.
Okay, to be different.
We're gonna
I like it.
We're gonna sweep them.
Oh, okay.
So I got them 6-1.
Okay, I thought you were going to go with the safe pick and say we split.
Well, it was either 2-2 or sweep, but I was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to get any hate mail or hate texts from our friend Andrew, so I'm gonna.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because didn't we sweep them earlier in the season at home?
Yes.
Yeah. I was there for one of those games. So, and we were playing like shit at the beginning.
Yeah.
So
and that was the first. That was Blanco's no hitter. It was against Toronto.
No, that was the night
What?
before.
But it was against Toronto.
Oh, yeah, and then Javier on my game the next night he had a 1-hit shutout.
Yeah. So again, I just think that I think they found their mojo. I mean, I just, even though I know the Mets are on a good hot run, that team is just not as good as the Astros. They're going to be sellers at the deadline. If I'm going to put my money on it, Alonso's not going to be on that team on August 1st.
Right.
And with Toronto, I think they're going to be a fire sale. I think Bichette's going to be gone. I think Vlad's going to get dealt, maybe to us. We'll see what happens, but I just think we're a better team.
Yeah.
You know, now, I mean, right now we are just clicking on all cylinders. So that's how I feel.
Look, if we're 5-2, if 5-2, 6-1, 7-0,
yeah.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
man.
Let's see. 4-3, I think, is probably the absolute minimum you have to go in those games. In those 4-3, like it's the minimum. You can't be under 500 in those 7 games. You just can't.
No, I mean, I think that
5-2 is a pretty legit number for those 7 games.
I think, and maybe this is just me being a super homer, I don't think we see. I don't think we see being under 500 again.
Yeah, we
I
shouldn't.
mean, we should. I mean, it's just like it would be a complete letdown if that happened. I mean, but I mean, it's just like it's just nuts. It's crazy. It's like when the Astros were at their worst, Seattle picked it up, and now you have Texas and Seattle both stumbling, and the Astros are just steamrolling. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, we went from being what 4, 5 games behind Texas, to now we're 3.5 ahead of them.
Yep.
I mean, that's insane. I mean, the stuff that I've read, we went from oh god, I can't wait for the Texan season to start to now it's Astros. I never lost I never lost my faith in the Astros. So,
Well, it's crazy because even before the Astros got back to 500, this would have been last week, whatever their record
yeah,
was last week, right? The Astros still were tied for sixth, still had the sixth best odds to win the World Series in Vegas,
yeah,
even with them being under 500.
yeah. I mean, it's just
I think right now they're 12. They're either 10-1 or 12-1 right now.
yeah,
That was as of like 2 nights ago. So like even when they were sucking, even when I was hating on them like every episode because they suck and like why are we losing so bad? Like they
yeah,
still were, and Vegas knows what they're talking about. Like
yeah,
Vegas knows.
yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, so well, I would like to think that our good old pal Andrew cannot say that we did any bad news bears stuff this episode.
I'm sure he'll find
Um,
something.
I'm sure he will. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, well, you were
Y'all,
mean to Montero."
your mic sucks. So
Yeah. Um, but I do have one big shout out to give to. We have reached 100 followers on Facebook. So guys, again, I know I put out a little reel earlier. Again, thank you guys. I mean, this is again, you got two schmucks here talking about the Astros on a non-professional level.
yeah,
We don't obviously we know we don't have the production value in this as some other podcasts do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this: the first 2 or 3 people that listen to this and uh, leave feedback on the Spotify, because there's a question and answer. What did you think of the episode? If you message me on the Facebook, then I'll get you a Juicebox Heroes t-shirt. I mean, I know it's not authentic Astros, Astros backing, but it's the least I could do, because again, this is more than what I thought this would ever get, at least on a Facebook follower, level. I mean, so again, if you guys follow us on Facebook and you haven't listened, check us out. Um, at least, at least that, we make mistakes and we're not perfect, and there's a reason why this is not our full-time job.
and
So
why we're not local experts.
yeah,
So
yeah, we're not local experts, even though we may sound like it. We're
we
not.
sound like we're not.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
not.
I hate to break everybody's heart. We're not.
Yeah, we're not. Um, but again, guys, I mean, here's to hopefully another fantastic week. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Again, thank you for taking the time to listen to us, and hopefully our next episode is another butterflies and unicorns episode.
That's right. That's right.
So, guys, have a fantastic weekend. We are going to sign off, and I don't think we've decided yet what we're going to do. If we're going to put one out on July 4th or not. I know Barl's already told us he's going to be way too smashed to do it.
I wouldn't think July 4th would be an option. I wouldn't
Maybe
think.
we do it July 3rd.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll shoot it for a day earlier.
Yeah.
All right. Either way, we'll keep you guys informed. Again, thanks for listening. We are the Juicebox Heroes. We will see you guys next week.
Talk to y'all later.